You're just a couple mannequins in the window getting married. Classic. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Why Bother, the podcast where we explore why creative makers do things the hard way. I'm your host, Gareth Davies from Maker House, and I'm so excited to welcome Frank Fiore from North Standard Trading Post.
Thanks, Gareth. Thanks so much for having me today.
So excited to have you, Frank. I wish we could have Pam, your better half, your business partner, your life partner. So Pam, we know you're watching, and thank you for lending us Frank for the morning. Can't wait to learn more about your business, have some fun, have some laughs, and hopefully walk away with some lessons from your, how many years now running North Standard? 10 years.
10 years.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Time flies.
All right. And full disclosure, Frank and I are actually good friends. Mm-hmm. We hang out all the time. We got young kids, doing play dates. And Pam and I actually go back to grade 4, which is kind of wild.
Yeah. And then she also worked at the same place as Sarah, your wife.
My wife, yeah.
So I was the only one that didn't know anybody. The friendship did happen.
All these lines were crossing through elementary school and university. And then eventually we ended up living really close to each other here in Ottawa and having two businesses that work together, which is fantastic. Yeah. So congrats again on 10 years, and let's get right into it. You might recognize North Standard by their bear hats that you've probably seen if you're in Ottawa, these snapback hats in different colors with this cute little black bear logo, or actually different colored bears as well. We even have a rainbow pride bear hat. When I drop my kid off at school, Ethan, there's lots of other kids with these beautiful North Standard hats. Tell us about the bear. Where did the bear come from?
Sure. Well, Pam and I, we really wanted an animal mascot, and we wanted one that could be good for everybody. We wanted something that kids could wear, and what better than a teddy bear who watches over your kids that could also empower anybody. We were working with our graphic designers who were also very good friends, Double Knot, based in Toronto. They're awesome. And they came up with this. When we saw the mock-ups, they sent us a page of probably like 6 or 8. Just everyone was awesome.
Yeah.
So we definitely had some deciding to do at that point, but it was great.
There were different versions of the bear?
Different versions and kind of done different ways.
Yeah.
And the bear does actually have a name.
What?
The bear's name is Jim. And yes, why Jim? Well, so one of Pam's...
I'm so excited to learn about
the bear. No, really. Like not too many people know that, but one of Pam's childhood, the neighbors, Jim and Diane, so mom and dad. So Jim, when he was at our wedding, he said, "What's the bear's name? You should name the bear after me." And then we looked at each other and thought, well, the bear doesn't actually have a name. So Jim the bear.
Yeah, that's it.
So the name came later.
Jim was in the right place at the right time.
Sure was.
Thanks for telling us the history of the bear.
Happy to.
We're going to do a fun segment called
Bother, Not Bother.
where I ask you some rapid fire questions, items, and you tell me is this something you bother with or not.
Okay.
All right. So those are your two answers, bother or not bother.
Okay.
Do you have business cards?
Not bother.
Okay. What about TikTok?
Not bother. Maybe we should, but it's a not bother.
Okay. You're probably not alone. Instagram?
Bother.
Follow them on Instagram. Pineapple on pizza?
Not bother.
Me too.
Prove me wrong, but I mean.
Me too. We're part of that same club. Fizzy drinks?
Pam would say, yes, bother. Always bother. And me will say, not bother.
Not bother for Frank on the fizzy drinks. And the last one, heavy metal.
Bother.
Yeah, that's always how you know I know Frank.
Always bother.
All right. Let's get into a bit more serious questions. So you and Pam both had stable jobs in the fashion industry, working for other brands.
Yeah.
Why did you bother taking the plunge into starting your own brand from scratch?
Sure. Well, it was a dream. When we first started dating, I think by the end of the first date, we had both told each other that it was our dream to have a shop of our own.
Oh, wow.
We really liked each other a lot at that point. We liked each other from early on, but even like that commonality of some future goals, I remember going away thinking, okay, wow.
You guys basically manifested from your first date to opening a store within how long?
I'd probably say about a year. Well, we opened in 2013, so 10 years ago. But we did a lot of planning, say maybe 8 months prior. very all consuming, but it was a labor of love.
How exciting.
It was exciting.
Well, wow. And young, like puppy love, because you were just starting your relationship. Mm-hmm. You're months in while you're basically building a business together. Mm-hmm. And so which brands did you work for prior to opening?
Yeah, so I worked for Levi's at their head office, which was at the time in Richmond Hill.
Okay.
I worked there. I was there for 4 years. Pam worked for Savin Agency, a sales agency in Toronto.
So your vision for opening North Standard was a dream to create something from scratch, and then you had a store within a year, and I believe you were even married in your store.
That's right. So we were married there. We were looking for a venue, and after looking at all these places, all of a sudden Pam suggested like we have the most perfect spot, and we can actually get it too. It's like the store. We were married in our front window.
Oh my gosh!
And when we were closed that day, we had customers coming in like, hi, oh, so sorry. And we're like, no, it's okay.
In the middle of your wedding.
And we're like, we're closed tomorrow too, but then come back the next.
Closed 2 days for a wedding and a honeymoon, and then you're open. It's like the life of a small business owner right there.
Yeah.
So you're just a couple mannequins in the window getting married. Mm-hmm. Classic. Very, very cool origin story. Let's talk about something specific that you do in your business the hard way, and why you bother still doing it that way when there might be an easier option for you.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. Well, with us, it's always been about the people, and one shortcut. Well, I wouldn't say shortcut, maybe one route that's very easy for many businesses to take is distribution channel, like say an online distribution channel, like Fair, for example.
Okay.
I mean, there are many, but Fair is one where you put your brand up, and then they would say, you come with us and we will grow your sales fast. We'll scale up. You will get that money you want.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be happy. And if you just hear that sounds pretty good. But I mean, we didn't open our business just for that.
Right.
So one of the reasons why we would say we did it the harder way is we always wanted to handle our distribution ourselves, because with us, it's about making good relationships with our customers who in a way are, they're like our friends, really. We treat them as such.
Yeah.
Also, the relationships with the shops we deal with, like you and I.
Oh, we love working directly with you guys, and we wouldn't get that relationship, that connection through Fair or some other distribution.
And I should say, when you mentioned that you knew Pam and Sarah knew Pam, we hadn't met. So when we first met, more like business.
Yeah.
At first.
It was Maker House contacting North Standard and wanting to carry your products.
And we had, the friendship did come, which I'm very grateful for, but that happened later.
Yeah.
So with us, I would say we want to do it the hard way and just handle distribution ourselves, because we want to get to know the people we're selling, make sure it's a good fit, make sure that there's nice space in between the shops that carry us so no one's too close. We want to keep everyone happy, including ourselves.
Yeah. And have stores that can tell your story, because if they're not meeting you, not talking to you, you don't get to share the messaging you want with them, then they might not be selling it as well, or actually telling the story. All right. That's a really good example. Let's do a flip side. Something that you do or someone else might do out there that's convenient. We like to call this the
cost of convenience.
Okay. So what might be something convenient, but there's a hidden cost to it?
I mean, I'd say a good one for us, it's always been North Standard versus fast fashion.
Right.
We like the word standard so much, we put it in the name. But we really did that when we started, Pam and I, planning the business. The idea of standard goods were very important to us. The idea that Pam would say she wants us to offer goods for a good time and a long time.
So you're not just cycling them out every season, is what you're saying.
That's right. We want to have things that are less disposable. We want them made as close to home as we can. We try to pay attention to things that do need more care, like using sustainable fabrics where we can. And with fast fashion, the whole idea is you can get something and put it out after, and really if it doesn't last a long time, that's kind of okay, because you're not really going to be wearing it anyway. So
poor quality, not sustainable. Yeah
absolutely.
So that's the downside of that convenience of I'm gonna call it H&M, because that's who I think of when I hear fast fashion. But there are hundreds or thousands of brands out there.
Like we all know that you can go places and you can buy t-shirts that are $5 for, whatever, but hidden costs that we don't see, also like labor standards. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Labor standards, environmental costs. So when there's a convenience, there's usually a hidden cost. So thanks for illuminating that for us a little bit with that example. And thanks for standing up for the standards, the staples, the long-lasting quality clothing that is harder to find these days. And that's what North Standard is all about.
Thank you, Gareth.
So we're going to take a quick break now. Okay. And we're going to be right back for another segment. Thank you for tuning in, watching, listening. And we'll be right back after this short break. All right. We're here with Frank Fiore from North Standard, and I'm your host, Gareth Davies, for the podcast Why Bother, where we learn why creative makers do things the hard way. Be sure to like and subscribe and share so you can grow our audience with you fine folks. Now we're going to get into some fun facts about your industry, which is fashion. And did you know this? 100 billion items of clothing are produced annually around the world. And the average person only wears 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time. We know about fast fashion, but those numbers are pretty shocking.
Yeah.
How does that relate to your business?
Sure. Well, I'd say even just hearing those numbers, it's pretty staggering, hearing something like that. For us, we were very cognizant that, most people, wear only a fraction of their wardrobe, but we wanted something that would fit into that 20%. And not only that, maybe when people would find us, they would learn that they didn't really need that 80% as much as they thought, where they could really get by with some easy pieces.
Yeah.
Which I think I don't know if I have said yet, but, clothes, for a good time and a long time.
I'm with you personally. I love the cozy t-shirt, the cozy sweater, the thing that you wish you could wear every day, except you do have to do laundry at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And that is your North Standard stuff in my wardrobe.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that brands like North Standard are pushing against the trend of quick, easy money, basically. That is fast fashion.
Yeah, us too.
And you're also producing things locally. Tell us a bit about how that is a priority for you to make things in Canada.
Yeah, well, it absolutely is. On every garment that we produce, we have a little tag. And if you flip it over, the back of the side tag, it says, "Thank you for supporting Canadian factories." And we think that's the most important, not only to keep jobs here, labor standards, closer to where they should be, say less fossil fuels used with shipping,
right?
Less packaging, which really does add up because our industry, aside from producing all those clothes, there's a huge amount of waste, water, cardboard, everything used to facilitate like that.
Produce the materials, yeah. No, that makes sense. So you're reducing that waste by producing as many items as you can locally. Mm-hmm. So good for you guys.
So we don't want to be in every store out there, but what we would like to do is just do business with like-minded people.
Right.
So we're a fan.
Yeah, it's so fun to work again with like-minded people, but you become friends, right?
Yes.
And those can build those connections. Why do you like to, as a customer, shop local?
Such a good question, which I think is at the heart of everything. Because that's the heart of community, is shopping local. If you're able to, getting something close to home, you're making a small business owner's day. You're making people's days who work close to you. There's an emotion that goes with it, which is often lost. If any of us have ever been in a big box store and you want to find something, but you don't have that warmth, but you go somewhere closer to home, and hopefully, we would like to believe anyway, that you'll find someone who really cares.
Yeah.
And that's a connection which is missing all too much nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. People who work at or own local businesses do tend to care more on average about what they're selling. They're more intentional in their choice of being there, as opposed to someone who might be working by default in a big box environment. So it's not black and white. You get people
Yes.
in a big box store who can be very passionate, very helpful. I've had some great experiences out there.
True. Very true.
Yeah, local is definitely where it's at for some of the most, benefits, especially within your community. So thank you guys for supporting local and being a great local brand as well. So tell us about how has North Standard evolved in these past few years?
Sure. Well, so much. I mean, when we opened in the neighborhood of Parkdale, Toronto, one store, no staff, just the two of us working 6 days a week. And really, even on that off day, we're kind of working too.
Of course.
We're working all the time.
Yeah. You're building from scratch.
When we opened our shop, we were a store that carried, for us, standard type brands. Our North Standard brand wasn't even really a brand then. It was actually very small. So we were a store that carried a little bit of North Standard. Fast forward to even a couple years later, the brand really started to grow.
Okay.
Although in that time, we opened other stores, we closed them down.
You mean other locations?
Yes.
Okay.
We opened a home and cottage shop, we thought it was a beautiful shop.
Yeah. I remember that right across the street.
Yeah, exactly. We learned a lot and we really tried. It was definitely a heartbreak that we couldn't get it to work
right
the way we wanted.
Of course. Yeah, you pour everything in.
So as far as a big learning for us, I think we have had some successes. We have definitely had some failures too, but they all taught us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We had a shop in Prince Edward County for a while. Which,
beautiful location, obviously.
It was a great shop too. We had a lot of fun with it. It did end up being more of a pop-up.
Yeah, it was a summertime experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And you did a great job in setting that shop up. And you brought in a whole new line of the North Standard Waves logo.
Yes.
Which again, if you're watching, is still around.
Mm-hmm.
So there are good things that come from these like brick and mortar experiment that you didn't continue, but the Waves logo lives on.
Yes. Truth be told, we haven't come up with another name for it because we have a couple iterations of it. But for now, we'll just say Waves. As we were opening these shops, as we were closing them down, the brand grew. We started seeing that, our North Standard brand was getting bigger in the shop. The other brands were shrinking. We were eventually selling pretty much only North Standard.
Amazing.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened. So we were forced to close, and then we went online only.
Right.
And still
the big pivot business. And the many little pivots that follow.
Yeah. And then really that big pivot really showed us. So our stores closed, but we were trying to think outside the box and still offer experiences to our Toronto customers. But we made the move here to Ottawa because really with not being able to have a brick and mortar shop, we thought more seriously about what if we could open up shop anywhere. And it was a great life move. Now we have lots of room to grow.
Yeah.
So we ended up here and we're smaller than we had been at some time, but I'm very happy.
Yeah. You chose work-life balance when the window of opportunity came to walk away from the brick and mortar store, and you realized online sales were enough or more than enough to sustain you with a lower overhead as well.
Exactly. And our wholesale business had grown so much also in a way that, we never really imagined in the beginning.
Right.
So the business has changed. North Standard is very much here. We're happy, but the dream does change.
It does. And you have to be ready for that and adaptable as a small business owner. So good for you and Pam to recognize the forks in the road when they come and be brave enough to take maybe it was a hard choice to close your store. That was your baby. That's or you were married even.
Yeah.
So to walk away from that is difficult. And I'm really proud of you as a fellow business owner and as a friend for making those difficult choices. Move to Ottawa was also a long-time recruitment planned by myself and Sarah. And you can deliver to our store like within a day or two.
North Standard reorder is always just a very short.
That's right.
Car ride.
And it doesn't get more made local than in Ottawa. We love it when we have more Ottawa makers. So that's really great to walk through a bit more of that evolution. So thanks for sharing that with us. Just want to wrap up this segment by getting a couple tips for aspiring small business owners or aspiring makers.
Sure. So I can think of two. Well, one's actually Pam's because her and I had a little chat last night and about things that were important to us.
Yeah.
Pam definitely wanted to say, make sure to reach out to people for advice, but make sure to do your research first too. Because what we've had so many times, we've had people reach out to us, say one of us will take some time, but because they didn't do their research, they're essentially just getting what they could find on Google.
Okay.
As in, you spend some time on the internet and you can get your base knowledge, up to a certain point that then you're asking things that are probably more important anyway.
Right.
So just to have a little bit of direction and a plan before you ask for advice, or else that time with your friend or that person who's taking the time, it'll just disappear and you'll probably find that you didn't take as much away from it as you could have.
I love that tip. That resonates with me, that you want to leverage the resources around you. You definitely can't do it all yourself. So you've got people that you might know or that you should get to know and network who can help you with business advice. But get a baseline understanding yourself, because the tools are there. The Google, you've got Google, I was going to say.
The Google.
It's there. Yeah, go to the Google, ask the Google, get a little baseline understanding, and then you'll have better questions, is what you're saying. Yeah.
And then the Frank answer, the mine is, so there's a Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler.
Yeah.
Where he says, know when to hold him.
Right.
Know when to fold him. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. Yeah, okay, so we know the same song.
Is that harmony? No,
maybe not quite. Great. I like that. I don't even have to finish the...
what a great business tip from Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, well, thank you, Kenny. But even though we're both laughing, and hopefully I feel like we're both having a good time, but that's really important to me, because, there are times in the business when you're faced with tough decisions with a lot of emotion attached. We closed any of our shops, but most of all, the big one, like our baby,
Parkdale,
that was hard, and we knew it was the right call.
There's some sleepless nights, I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Knowing when to fold them, absolutely. That's huge. Know when to hold them too, because also say successes don't usually come overnight. They can, and you also have to stick with things.
Yeah.
So it is a balance. We're still learning ourselves, but I would definitely say listen to the song, think about it.
Yeah.
We'll sing it later.
Yeah, it has. You're right. It has real tangible meaning. It's not just a great pop song, a great country song.
So when we're both in the car later on, we'll just both put it on.
Yeah, I'll be singing it all day now in my head. Thanks for those tips, Frank.
Nope,
and Pam as well.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us through Frank here today. We're going to take a quick break now. And we're going to come back for one final segment where it's going to be really fun. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're here with Frank Fiore from North Standard Trading Post. We're ready to dive into some fun food sampling.
Okay, great.
I brought you a treat from our store, asked you what you wanted to try, and you picked the whiskey barrel-aged maple syrup made by Kinsip Distilleries. They make spirits, they make whiskey. They actually take dark Ontario maple syrup from their neighbors in Prince Edward County where they make this. They put that syrup in a whiskey barrel that has been retired from making whiskey, but it's soaked with the flavor. They leave it for 6 months, and you're going to get to see what it tastes like.
Definitely sounded too good not to try. So
yeah.
Great.
All right. Let's pick up our gold spoons here and put a little dab on there. And you let me know what you think. Describe the flavor here for our listeners.
Okay. Well, we'll do a cheers and then
do a spoon cheers. All right.
That tastes amazing. Definitely tastes like whiskey maple syrup.
Okay. You're picking up the whiskey.
Amazing though. I could think of many things. Is it not just pancakes and waffles, which obviously would be in it, but I would put this on everything, really. For people who would appreciate whiskey, there is some of the smokiness, the peatiness that you can pick up.
Yeah.
It's not in an overpowering way.
And they get the whiskey flavor first. Like you said, you get a smoky whiskey up front, and then it smooths over with that dark, sweet syrup.
It's actually nice to know that there isn't any alcohol because we have kids.
Right.
So we try to think like, so this is your maple syrup. And then Mommy and I, we're just going to have this little, no, but I want that one. You can't.
Yeah. Well, thanks for trying it. And yeah, definitely take some home. Now let's get back to a little bit of learning about you while you're here. What's your personal biggest hobby or passion outside of work?
So I'll answer for Pam too, because
we'd love to know about
would
Pam's.
definitely say gardening. She loves gardening. She can go out in the garden and be totally happy. Me, more so yoga.
Nice.
I try to do anywhere from 0 minutes to 60 minutes a day.
Cool.
Really, I mean, hopefully it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I love reading.
Oh, nice.
And then this is all outside of family. So
yeah, of course, family is like number one hobby priority.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like the kids really, they get you to play when they're young like that. So that's great. Keeps you healthy. Gardening, I can totally relate. Like there's something super zenful about digging your hands in the soil. Another question for you. Who would you like to spend a day with? If you could pick one famous person, dead or alive, and spend the day with.
Okay. So Pam would say Ted Lasso. Oh, but a fictional.
You can go fictional.
So because
cool.
it's such a good show. It's a favorite show. But
Jason Sudeikis is the actor, I think? Yeah.
And he's all about being a coach to people to make them the best version of themselves. It's not about him imparting, say, football or like soccer knowledge
Technical.
and possible like a discipline on it. It's just making sure that they perform how they should.
Yeah.
They know what to do. But there's a lot of distraction, and he's the one that's going to tell you, don't look at it, just concentrate on what you love to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that's advice we try to follow too. And so it's a funny show, but I also feel like it's inspiration.
There's
so thank you, Ted.
Yeah. Imagine spending a day with Ted Lasso, how like energized and inspired you would be. Because even just like one or two of his sayings is like enough to fuel the fire for a little while. One of my favorite TED sayings is be curious, not judgmental. So yeah, it's okay to ask questions and inquire, but don't be a jerk about it. Who would
mine would be? There's a writer I go back to frequently. Her name's Ursula K. Le Guin. She was a sci-fi writer.
Cool.
She came up with all sorts of stuff, which considering it was written in the 60s, it was incredibly forward-looking. I mean, she talked about things that being a woman, writing about women in stronger roles, not issues, but the idea, the concept of gender, even gender fluidity.
This was like 60 years ago.
Yes,
writing about
non-heteronormativity.
Wow.
And also like these are things that, if you write them in the 60s and 70s, no wonder it was put as sci-fi. That's not fiction.
Oh, wow.
That's science fiction because that's just so... But then you read it now and it's almost like prophetic.
Wow.
And she does it with great emotion too.
That's cool. So you'd love to meet her, actually dive in personally.
If I could have tea with Ursula, not even a full day, or even if I could just help her out at home while she's with her family, that would have been awesome.
That's cool. All right. Good choices. Ted Lasso, Ursula K. Le Guin.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to wrap this segment up. Or just before we wrap up, we're going to do something fun we'd like to call the
Point of Connection.
Which is, in your case, maybe you want to talk about how your business keeps you connected.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's always been about the people for us. It's always been about customers, having the people that come in have a great experience. I brought the show until I didn't know actually if I'd be able to use it.
All right. What do you got there? You can describe it for people listening too. Yeah.
So this is a plaque that Pam's parents had in their business.
Okay.
They had a small business for many years. They recently retired, and it's a plaque that's all about customers. It says customers, and it says, customers are the most important people in any business. Part of our business, not outsiders. It is our job to fill their needs. They deserve the most courteous attention we can give them. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Yeah, it's got like 8 or 10 different like sentences about how you view customers. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like our company values.
Yeah,
specifically about customers.
And this is something that we kept in our shop basements for the longest time, and we would see it every day. And then when we would have meetings with our staff, we would, talk to them about this. And I'd say that's why we do business, because even when it was just Pam and I, we wanted to make a great place and, meet lots of kind people.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're still doing that. It is harder, I have to say, being online.
When you're not in store, yeah.
Only we have the chat function on our website. We actually do really like, because that is probably me or Pam. So if you have a little
It's not
question,
a chat bot. So if you go to northstandard.com, you can have a conversation with Frank or Pam.
And people say like, oh, we don't want to bother your business. No, please bother me. I'm shy. I want you to tell me about an Ursula book. Actually, that would be really cool if someone did.
There you go. How does that benefit you? Like that, what is the point of that connection for you?
From a business side, I mean, if you take care of the people that are looking to buy from you, I mean, we feel like that can only lead to better business, but that isn't the first reason why we would do that. It's just, there's something fulfilling about it. And it's like being kind is its own reward. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, for me, I fill my bucket up. I'm naturally extroverted, and it's interesting to talk to people and get different perspectives and just kind of walk away feeling a bit related and not alone, right? You're like, we're part of this community together. Mm-hmm. And you said you've had some customers that were there when you first opened your store.
Yeah.
And you got to watch them evolve with your business too.
Yeah, as our business has grown, some of our customers have. We remember when we first opened, there would be couples sitting on the bench outside of our shop, feeding their babies. And then we watched those babies grow up, and they would start to yank things off the shelves when they come in and all that. And or we'd play with them with some crayons. We grew with our customers.
Yeah, we see that in our store when we're selling your bear hats, and the kids will graduate from the small kid size to the youth size.
That's great.
We had a kid in recently with his mom who was buying a replacement hat, and his hat was 3 or 4 years old. And because they're wearing it in the summer in the sun, it had changed color. The bear actually was the same color. It was the navy blue hat with the burgundy bear. So the hat had gone from navy to almost white.
That's great.
Wash right out. So we held up the new hat beside it to show that's that loyalty to your brand and you're part of their life story.
We love it. We love being a full family brand. That's what we want most of all. Full family brand. Every family, no matter what your family is, really, we would just want to do that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Frank. And thanks Pam as well for joining us through some of the answers.
Thank you, Pam.
And through just getting to know North Standard, which is, a huge part. Pam's a huge part of the business, and business is a huge part of your life. Where can people find you guys if they want to follow you and find out about what's going on next for you guys?
Sure. So if you would like to find us, we're very easy to find. So we're at North Standard on Instagram. Okay. Our website's northstandard.com. We're easy to get in touch with. And then really what's next for us? I mean, we're here in Ottawa now. Now that we have settled in, we've been here for, I suppose, a couple years. We are slowly starting to expand again. And we are excited. We're excited for the future.
Yeah. As are we. And thanks again for joining us. Be sure to follow North Standard. Check them out on their website. Find them in our store as well, Maker House. And thanks for listening, everybody, and watching if you're on YouTube.
Thank you.
We hopefully will see you next time here on Why Bother, where we explore why creative people bother doing things the hard way. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.